Hello, community. Happy Thursday to all of us. I hope you are all doing fantastic. Welcome to another community event today on YouTube Live. As always, we are very thrilled to have you here with us today. For those that are able to make it, welcome. We are very happy having you all here today. Another exciting topic that we have today, as you see, Bullrun Ecosystem. The last days we've been discussing the topics individually. We've discussed banning, we've discussed staking, and we've been discussing liquidity for the longest. So in today's session, the whole idea is to just wrap everything together, right? Just bring everything back home and just put it all together, piece it all together, right? And I suggest, and as we go throughout this session, I'll show you. We've made so many videos dedicated to staking, so I highly encourage you to go back and you'll be able to see it. I'll show you later on once I switch share my screen, a different screen. I'll show you where the videos are, where you can learn about staking individually. You can learn about banning, and then also we have a bunch of liquidity videos as well. So with that said, once more, welcome. Those that are new in the community, welcome. Happy to have you all here with us today. And let's get this session started, right? We always like to start by acknowledging you, community members. Everybody that is new, that took their time to be here with us, let's acknowledge all of you. Let's see who's here today. Brother Dave is here. Hello, Steve and community. Our liquidity is building nicely. We are currently at 322,500. Let's go. Absolutely. And that's one of our key points and strengths. Like we really focus on liquidity because our community now really understands that liquidity drives everything. With liquidity, we are banning tokens and we're retaining USDC based on the volume because liquidity brings volume, right? So absolutely. We have Queen Val says, hello, bull runners. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday right back to you too, Queen Val. And we have Queen Evelyn here also says, Grotto here. The moment that I have been waiting for. Bye. We love you, Steve. Let's go, community. We appreciate and love you back, Queen Grotto, for all the efforts you put in and your consistency, your commitment. You're very, very much appreciated. And your high energy that you bring to the community, you're very, very much appreciated as well. We have Uncle George here. Hello, Uncle George. Hi, Steve and Bullrun community. Glad that Bullrun is gaining ground and there are good signs of better things ahead. Thanks for your steadfast commitment and supportive community. God bless us all. Beautifully said. This is why we're doing this, right? We all are community, one voice, one community, and our aim is to succeed. And the beautiful thing about the blockchain technology, it's borderless, it's trustless, it's permissionless, and it's globally, right? We all can participate and chip in, put in our own, add our own value that we can add to the community to make it better, right? The more we chip in as a community individually, the better we become. So beautifully said. Very, very, very true. Queen Val says, family, as we await for Mr. Steve to come, let's engage with the tweets. Absolutely. All the tweets are out. All the tweets are out. As you know, we have daily tweets. So these are the sessions. We usually put them right the same times or right before with our sessions. So all of them are out. As you see here, Survivor is out, Killer Whale is out, and Bullrun is also out as well. As you see here, this is the Bullrun one. So thank you, Queen Val, for placing them all out so that we can all engage with them. Engaging with these tweets is very, very important because it gives us the opportunity to reach as many people as possible. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole idea, right? It's good to be, to be engaging. It's important for us to all engage with these tweets as they trigger algorithms. It helps YouTube to push this video to as many people as possible, and that's exactly what we need. That's exactly what we want. and X-Space is a great platform to reach as many people as possible. So let's engage with this community as we are going through these comments here. We have Queen Alice says, greetings, Brother Steve, Queen Mother and community. Another great day for us to get inspired and educated. We thank God for what we have, an amazing ecosystem. Beautifully said, Queen Alice. Beautifully said. We are very grateful for what we have, and that's why it's so important for us to really highlight and what we really have, so that we can really appreciate it. And you can't appreciate something that you really don't fully understand, right? But the more we understand how our industry works, what are the challenges in the industry, how money works, how our current financial system works and monetary system, and then we come back to our ecosystem, we will really appreciate it as we understand how it works. So very, very true, Queen Alice. Very well said. We have Queen Patricia here as well. Hello, Queen Patricia. Good evening, family. Good evening, Steve and Mother Wino. Happy to be here again to listen and continue to learn from the fountain of knowledge. Thank you, Steve. Stay protected and blessed. Thank you so much for your very warm, kind words. You're very, very much appreciated, Queen Patricia, as well, for your consistency, your leadership that you always show. You never miss these sessions. Thank you so much. Yes, we have these. Let's engage with them. The Bullrun, Survive and Killer Whale. We have Queen Patricia here again as well. Hello, Bullrun family, Mama Wino and Brother Steve. We thank God for our lives. Another day of more educational blessings. Thank you so much, Queen Patricia. You're very, very much appreciated for your warm and kind words. We have Queen Mother Wino herself. Greetings, queens and kings. Hope all is well with you all, family. Ready for another wealth of knowledge. Thanks, Steve, for your commitment and tireless efforts to educate our awesome community. The pleasure is ours. The pleasure is mine. Thank you as well for all your commitment, your support, your leadership. Very, very much appreciated. We are smiling right back at you, Queen Mazibuko, as well. And then we have Queen Goleba is with us here again also. Greetings, Bullrun family, Mr. Steve and our Queen Mom. God is great all the time. As the community grows, let's keep on thanking Him. Let's go. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your kind words. You're very, very much appreciated, Queen Goleba. We have Queen Lati. Greetings, Bullrun family. It's good to sit and wait for another exciting teaching from our crypto lecturer, Brother Steve. Thank you, Queen Mom, for this special gift for our entire lives. Thank you so much for your kind words, Queen Lati. You're very much appreciated for your leadership, your support, your consistency is very, very much appreciated. My great brother Theo is here as well. Happy Thursday, my great, awesome brother Steve, dearest great Queen Mama Wino, and my wonderful Bullrun family. I pray that all is well with you and yours. Excited to get started. Always a pleasure seeing you, my great brother Theo. Thank you for your warm and kind words as well. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community. Queen Cynthia, nice to have you here also. Glad that you're able to make it. Good evening, fellow kings and queens. As we join today's session, I hope that we pay attention to the key messages and circulate the same in our social circles. Beautifully said. That's the whole idea. That's the whole purpose. One of our key pillars also is to develop, right, a global decentralized community, and the only way that works is by word of mouth, right? Is by spreading the word and engaging with us on social media, so the social platforms that we're using. Queen Poloko says, good evening all. Good evening right back to you as well. Welcome to the community. I see Queen Buru Langanye. Welcome as well, Queen Buru Langanye. Good evening, team, and thank you, Brother Steve, for educating us. We're really blessed to have a humble and well-informed, warm-hearted like you. Thank you so much for your kind words. You are very much appreciated, and I can only give it back to the community. You're all very, very special to us, and it's beautiful to be part of this amazing community. Queen Grace says, thank you, Steve, for another exciting learning session today. As always, may God give you health and strength to keep equipping us. Thank you, Mama Wino, for your commitment all around, always. Thank you so much for your wonderful words, your kind words, Queen Grace. We see your efforts, you see all that you do and your commitment. You're very much appreciated as well. Very, very much appreciated. And then we have Queen Debbie here as well. She says, greetings, community. Greetings, my brother Steve and Queen Mother Wino. I appreciate your efforts, my brother Steve. Your hard work will not go unrecognized. God continues to use you. Thank you so much for your kind words. Very, very much appreciated. May all of us, may we all achieve whatever we want to achieve with this community, with this ecosystem. And it's just beautiful to see how warm and welcoming the community is. And this is the spirit to succeed, right? We have the recipe, we have the blueprints. Thank you for all your well wishes. Very, very much appreciated. We have Queen Aloshi says, thank you, Brother Steve and Mama Wino, for this gift you have given. May God keep on guiding you. Thank you so much. And may we all succeed as we go through our crypto journey together. And that's the beautiful thing, right? We can achieve success together. There's nothing more beautiful than that. With that said, community, let's get right to today's topic, as there is quite much to discuss. And we see here, thank you as well. Thank you also, Queen Mazibuko. You're very, very much appreciated. With that said, bear with me as I'm sharing my screen so we can really get this session started today. I'm sure we're all very thrilled and looking forward to today's session, as the topic is literally our ecosystem, right? We are really summarizing everything that we've been discussing, from liquidity, like we always discuss, banning, staking. We're bringing it home today, right? So bear with me as I'm sharing my screen here. And then we can get all of this started. All right. Community, as always, we always have to start with the market, right? To just have an idea, let's just peek at it really quick and just understand where we are. I know most of us already are usually checking this CoinMarketCap. Down 2.3% for the day, the last 24 hours. As always, the market is in anticipation of many things that we are about to touch. Before we get into today's topic, we'll touch some current events, news that is happening, things that we can anticipate that is still ahead of us. So these are the things that cause the market. As we know, we have an emotional market driven by fear and greed. And we'll always see, depending on the news, the prices being very volatile. And also the market is so young. Keep in mind that entire market cap is merely $2 trillion in market cap. We are going to look at this also in more details as we will be closing the session today, and to really make us understand. This crypto space is very unique. We have a privilege to be part of a new paradigm, a new technology with which has a dual purpose. It's a technology, but it's also an asset class all in one. And we are going to look at all of this in more details as we progress through today's session. But I just want to set us up so that we understand what to anticipate, what to expect in today's session, right? So now let's move on and kickstart this. Let's look at some current events. What can we anticipate? What's coming? What's happening right now? Let's understand some things. What makes the market so uncertain still is the crypto bill, right? Regulation is clear in Europe through MiCA, and many other jurisdictions such as Hong Kong, Singapore, Switzerland, right? However, the US is still uncertain. There's still a lot of uncertainties as far as US crypto bills, right? And this is what we're anticipating. And we know the elections are also going on, and the candidates are literally trying to outdo each other as who is the most crypto enthusiastic, right? We all know that in the US, there are roughly 50 million crypto enthusiasts, right? So those are 50 million votes. That's 1/6 of the entire US population, right? The US has roughly 300 million in population, and 1/6 of them 50 million are crypto enthusiasts. So that's a large amount. And the politicians, of course, will do what they know best. They'll politic, right? And they'll want to ensure that they can appease these 50 million crypto enthusiasts. However, if it comes to, we're not going to double into politics. It's not a political channel, but it affects us directly as a crypto industry. So we have to, we have to at least just discuss it for clarity's purpose, right? So anyway, the takeaway of this article should be like, US crypto bill is about to happen. It's expected to happen this year. This is the election year. And the way you win elections is by having your economy boom. If you have a booming economy, you have the highest chances of being reelected. That's how politics work, right? And because you have a lot of lobbyists, right, that are paying these politicians a lot of money to guide them in the direction where their companies will have the most favorable outcome, right? And this is what's happened. This is the year of that, year of elections. So we can expect that in the US, there will finally be some more clarity as far as regulations, known as the US crypto bill. And this is presumably will be run by one of the candidates on the Democratic side, which is Harris, right? And one of the senators, we see him here, that actually backed and endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, known as he's the majority leader, Chuck Schumer. He actually is convinced that the kind of crypto legislation that we expect will be out this year, right? And it could really happen. This is the good news that we're really looking forward to, right? We need clarity, we need regulations, because it will bring it. These are all part of the journey to the bull run, right? And this is not a when, but this is not an if, but it's a when, right? It's more like, okay, when is this going to take place? Another takeaway that I want us to discuss here also is that, like again, the crypto legislation can happen this year. It's supposed to happen. It's an election year. And to really put your party on the map, you have to have a booming economy, right? You have to be pro-crypto and all of that. And this is what they all say. Like, we all believe in the future of crypto, right? And also how they need the support to make sure that any proposal is bipartisan, meaning this is the beauty of crypto. It doesn't have demographics. It doesn't have a specific political, preference. It's global. It's universal, right? It's open for everyone, and that's the beautiful thing. We need to have it like that. It shouldn't be blue or red, right? It should be. It's open. It should be embraced. It's a technology after all, right? You can't pin down a technology based on a geographic region, especially blockchain. So this is the takeaway of this article. I just want us to understand that everybody is for crypto, right? Both parties, they are for crypto, and they believe in the future of the blockchain technology and the crypto industry, right? And there is a high chance that the US crypto bill is going to happen this year during the elections. So that's one news. The other one that we need to also look at, and it's hinting to next month's interest rate cuts. This is the big one. This is really the deal maker. This is really the floodgate opener. This is what we're all anticipating, because we know that only through liquidity, through stimulating the markets, the economy, by printing more money, bringing more money into the economy physically, this is what is needed, right, for the bull run to really kickstart. So the anticipation is high, and it's literally 100%. The question is more like, what will the cut be? Will it be 0.25? Will it be 0.5? However, in September is when the interest rate cuts are set for, and hopefully let's see how that goes through. So the US Central Bank, they're moving closer to lowering borrowing costs, right? Because right now they kept them, and for the first time in more than 4 years, right, as the price increases ease and concerns about the job markets rise. So another thing that I want us to look at here is also it moves being closely exactly. So some banks, including Bank of Canada, European central banks, we know that most central banks already have, like Bank of England, they're already cutting rates. Switzerland, they've cut rates. Mexico cut rates. So many central banks already went ahead and really did that cutting already, right? And one thing that I want us to really understand here as well, if we go down here, is like we say, the Fed's moves are complicated by the upcoming, you see, it's all about the US presidential elections. So whoever, during elections here, economies usually boom, right? They have to boom. So I strongly believe that with these interest rates coming, the clarity in regulations like we just looked at here, everything is about to bundle together beautifully. And that's what we need. We need clarity in regulations, and we need the interest rates to start being cut. And that's exactly what we need. And that's it for this session right here. So if we, right here is on the table, stood last since this week, say decided to hold off wanting evidence. Exactly. So they were just talking like they needed more evidence, and these numbers that came out this time were really good. And this is why it's on the table. It's on the table that in September next meeting, like we say, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said a cut to the bank's key rate could be on the table as the policymakers next meeting in September. So this is something that we can really look forward to. Absolutely. Now, away from regulations, politics, and all of that, let's look at the use of our pairing. We all know we have 3 tokens, right? And Spive and Killer Whale are paired with Ethereum. However, Bullrun is paired with USDC. So whatever USDC does, it affects us directly as well, right? So having this headline, like Circle is eyeing NFC payments for USDC they're starting with the iPhones, right? So this is major for us, because the more USDC, as we know, they're the only right now, the only and the first stablecoin that has a MiCA license in Europe, right? And they're the most regulated stablecoin in the space. And Circle is the issuer of the USDC stablecoins, and one of the other co-founders of stablecoin USDC is also Coinbase, right? And they're all backed by Goldman Sachs and by BlackRock as well. So it's a very reputable stablecoin. Now they are using the NFC. Remember, we had discussed the function NFC. NFC payments are incredible. And this is what makes Apple so special, because usually, let's go here. This NFC functionality was previously only limited to Apple natives, right? Like Apple Wallet or Apple Pay. And for those who are not familiar with NFC functionality, it's really, it's incredible, because you don't need your debit cards. You literally turn your smartphone into a debit card or a crypto credit card. If you scroll down your smartphone, you wipe down, you'll see a function where it says NFC. And once you enable that, you can literally turn your phone into a debit card, a payment phone now. So you won't have to carry around your credit cards, debit cards, all of that, right? And this, of course, is a challenge to Visa and MasterCard and other payment processors, right? And this is the future of crypto. And right now, USDC is urging developers to start developing wallets now, because the way it works, you can literally, right here, you can literally use your cryptocurrency wallet on iPhones using this feature, right? And what it does, it will identify and let you know which blockchain address that it will use, that it's using to accept USDC. And as we know, stablecoin USDC is primarily on the Ethereum blockchain. So if you have your wallet, let's say MetaMask is one of them, the largest trust wallet, you can make payments using your existing wallet right? And you can make payments through the NFC through your phone, basically. You don't need no debit card applications and all of that. You can just go straight from your wallet, use your USDC that you have on your wallet, and make payments at the point of sale at the store. This is where we're headed, community. And it's starting with Apple right now with the iPhones. And then obviously it will move from there, because Apple already has the infrastructure there. They've just been monopolizing this industry by having their own Apple Wallet and Apple Pay, but they lost the case, and they're supposed to open more doors for other competitors so that consumers and users have more options, right? And this is exactly what's happening. So why am I mentioning this? First of all, because we are paired, BRL is paired with USDC stablecoin. Secondly, this involves NFC payments, which is great, because it's one thing to accumulate wealth within the crypto industry, but it's a whole different thing again also to be able to use it, right? So these just open more doors, more opportunities, how we'll be able to use the USDCs that we receive through USDC distributions and staking rewards. We want to be able to use them as well, right, in real world. And with this new technology, with the Circle USDC venturing into NFC payments, which is just literally, you just turn it on your smartphone and you turn your phone into a debit card. So this is great, and this is amazing for us, because not only are we paired with USDC, but we also gave out USDC distributions. So these are just platforms and ways that are working great for us, right? It just gives us as a community more options to be able to use our USDC stablecoins in the real world, right? And without any further complications, just by turning on your phone and activating the NFC functionality. So, and you can go about and start doing your payments like that, using your existing wallet. That's the great thing. So there's another news that I just wanted us to look at. And this brings us to a whole different topic now, right? Let's get to today's topic now. We want to look at our ecosystem, everything combined, the burning, the staking, the liquidity, right? So to get this, I want to just highlight this article, right? This article talks about how Apple, Google, Samsung, I don't want to use the word stealing, it's too strong. They borrowed ideas. Let's use borrowing, right? They took ideas, they were stimulated and got the ideas from other companies, right? And there's nothing wrong with it, right? And one thing I just want to highlight here is that all smartphones right now, they have literally the same features, right? They all take pictures, they all have similar features and all of that. So you can pick your preference. Some are just only Apple, some are only Samsung or other brands out there, but they all have the same features. I want us to highlight one thing. You can't copyright an idea, right? There's no way you can copyright an idea. An idea is open for everyone. Many have ideas, but what counts is the execution. How are you executing, right? So Apple had found out the hard way that you really can't copyright an idea. Back in 1988, it filed a lawsuit against Microsoft they accused them for copying Mac's interface, right? Using the mouse, because Mac product was the first one to actually use a mouse. So using the mouse, the windows, and the menus, all this stuff. And they lost. They lost because you can't copyright an idea. So from that day onward, they blatantly ripped off other companies. They did the same thing. They took ideas of various different companies, right? And that's how they dominated the smartwatch industry, the tablet industry, the earphones, industry, the phone industry, right? So they learned their mistake, and instead of feeling sorry about themselves, they actually completely took over and started taking ideas from other companies. Google did the same thing, like we always say, right? Samsung does the same thing. Microsoft, we all know. Facebook, Amazon, we could go on and on, right? Even Apple itself, right? Like we say. So why am I pointing this out? Is that many of these are giants, the Googles, the Samsung, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon. They're the market leaders, right? They're leading in the industry right now. However, these are not their original ideas. These are ideas that I want to use borrowed, right? And that they took and made these ideas just more efficient, more sustainable, right? And this is what it's all about. When you get into a new industry, when you are part of a new technology, first thing a business does, Google does, Samsung, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, what they do is they screen the industry. They look for challenges. They look for problems. I like to call them challenges, right? Once they find challenges, they start studying and analyzing their competitors. What are they doing? Are they addressing these challenges? And if they found out that they're not, or they're not efficiently and sustainably having solutions to these challenges, then they take those ideas and make them better, more efficient. And this is why they're market leaders, right? Well, Steve, what has this to do with the crypto space? What has this to do with today's topic? What has this to do with our ecosystem? It's because that's exactly what we are about, right? This is what our ecosystem is all about. We are all about identifying challenges in this new space, in this new industry, and then addressing them accordingly, right? What are our 4 challenges that we are addressing? We are addressing lack of liquidity, right? This is why one of our taxes go to 3% of our taxes go towards retaining liquidity, right? We are addressing inflation, right? And this is why we are doing banning, true ban, removing tokens from the total supply. We are addressing unsustainable staking distributions. This is why we're issuing out sustainable USDC distributions. And then 4th challenge is inefficient use of volume, right? We discussed all of this in detail. And as you see here, if we go to our live, we made these videos already, right? We made about staking, so I encourage you to go and look up staking videos. We talked about banning, so in case you missed it, we have a whole library here of various topics that I encourage you to look into. And then, of course, liquidity is our favorite topic. We have many videos on liquidity, right, here that you can go and look at. Dedicate liquidity is the real value, liquidity-based token economy. We made videos about all these challenges, about liquidity, about banning, about staking. It's all here, right? Let's educate ourselves. There's a library here of it. So that's the whole idea. We identified challenges in the industry, and then we came up with solutions. We are a solution-based ecosystem, and we found various ways how to address these challenges. And this is what this topic is all about. We've been discussing them individually, but today is to bring everything home, right? It's very important for us. So if we just start with one of them, like let's start, for example, with our banning, right? Let's look at banning, for example. For that, or let's start with staking, since staking is open. First of all, let's look at the amount. Total staked value is closing in on 500,000, 468,000 that's the value of the staked tokens, and 623,000 of the supply is staked. Now, as a reminder for those that are new in our community, let's remind you that we started with 1 million in supply, right? Just 1 million in total supply. And to really make us understand what that really means, and pay attention to this number, I'm going to refresh my screen and you'll see the total supply. This is the max total supply. It keeps shrinking, right? Because of the ban that we do, and it removes the tokens from the total supply. And if I refresh here, you should see it shouldn't be 899. It's actually 859 now, right? And this number keeps shrinking. This is called scarcity. This is due to our true ban mechanism, like we saw here, right? This is due to our true ban. This addresses inflation, right? And this is it right here. We know this chart by now. We can't go and proceed using the same monetary system like our current monetary system, where it's based on inflation, it's based on loss of purchasing power, it's based on debt, right? All of that needs to stop. So instead of having a debt-driven, inflationary, purchasing power losing monetary system, we decide to have a scarce supply, right? Liquidity retaining, and also a great sustainable incentive, step by step. Let's remain with the burning, right? So if we go to burning to really have a better outlook, and back to staking here, before we go to burning, bear with me. Let's go here. I want us to see that this is how much that has been burned so far. But now if we look at our number one address here, it's our staking platform. You see these numbers go hand in hand. And now we're at 64.45% staked. Last community event, we were roughly at 63, right? So the staking percentage keeps increasing. And we looked at, in comparison, right, the biggest cryptocurrencies in the world based on staked value, right? So staking plays a major role. And the more staking, the higher the staked percentage is, this means the more stable and the more secure this platform is. So for many are like, okay, 64%, what does that mean? If we compare to the biggest cryptocurrencies in the world based on how much they've staked and the percentage, first of all, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum has staked, this is the value, over 114 billion worth of assets. So $114 billion are locked, right, on the Ethereum blockchain. The second one is Solana, like more than double, way more than double Ethereum has. So Ethereum is the most liquid blockchain. That's very important to understand. However, if you look at the staking percentage, so far it's only 26.6%. But this has a reason. It's because Ethereum just moved from proof of work to proof of stake barely 2 years ago, right? And this is the reason why. This is the reason why. So they're coming up, but nonetheless, it's only 26.6% staked. But if we look at who has the most staked tokens, it's Sui, right? The blockchain Sui, with 81%. And then Aptos 77, 74 with Saga, and Celestia 69, so on and so forth. We see Cardano and Solana are next, right? We with 64.5, we actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're the 7th most staked token right now, right? Based on our percentage, 64.5. So we are right behind Solana and Cardano. I'm sure that by the end of the month, we should be surpassing Cardano and Solana with their 65.7. So we'll be basically in the top 5 most staked tokens globally. And these are not tokens. Sui is not a token, it's a blockchain. Aptos is a blockchain. Saga, Celestia, Cardano, Solana, these are all major blockchains, right? And even if we look at them here, Solana is the 5th largest blockchain, right? And we see Cardano is the 10th largest. And then we are above Avalanche and Tron and Polkadot. Like if we go here, we are more staked than Tron, right? We are Avalanche and Polkadot. We have more staking than them, Injective too. So you see that we are really a very sustainable and very secure platform, because that's how you see based on how much is staked, how much the community trusts the token. This is how you see how much is being staked. Just as a comparison, let's just do this, just as a comparison for us to understand. If we go to DeFi Llama, you see the largest applications here based on the total value locked, right? And you see Aave right here. Aave is the 3rd largest, right? And if you look at the top 5 platforms, they all have something to do with staking. The top 2 directly, and Aave, Maker, JustLand, they're all indirectly. And EtherFi, they all have staking platforms in them, right? So staking plays a major role. I'm curious to see how much Aave is being staked, right? If we want to see how much Aave is staked, let's check out Aave, for example. We're not picking on Aave. We just want to see how much Aave is being staked, right? To do that, you come over here, circulating supply, rewards contract, and then we can see how much Aave is being staked. So these are the staking rewards, first of all. This is just staking rewards for Aave, right? And the staking rewards is in Aave tokens, as we know. So it's inflationary for beginners, right? But if we go to Etherscan and check out Aave, and go to holders, and then we'll see that Aave only has 17.5. Let's give them 17.6% stake. Why is that the case? We have like 4 times more stakes than Aave, right? And Aave is not a meme coin. Aave is the 3rd largest application in the entire industry. They have 11.5 billion US dollars locked in their on their platform. 11.5 billion. Our platform has 468,000 locked, right? So it's way smaller, right? However, if it comes to staking, we have 4 times more staked tokens than Aave. Why is that the case? It's because Aave is inflationary, right? If you look at here, Aave is inflationary. This is why you see the chart looks like this. They're giving you their own tokens, and they keep inflating the market with more and more tokens. And that's the issue. That's the challenge that we're facing. This is why you see many smart investors are not going to stake a token that is inflationary, right? And it just keeps giving you their own tokens, inflating the market. And this is why if you pay attention to this chart right here, right? It looks awfully similar to this, right? And this is the US dollar. It's been losing its purchasing power due to inflation, right? And we're seeing the same thing on the blockchain with Aave. And this is not just Aave, like we said. We're not going to go into too much details, but Uniswap is the same thing, right? We all know Uniswap is also on the list here with DeFi Llama. It's the 7th largest. They also have staking. However, it looks very familiar like Aave because they have staking platforms that are inflationary and that issue, and they don't have a banning mechanism either. So they are causing a lot of inflation. And this is the reason why you can't have a staking platform with inflation, right? So this is a no-go. So that covers let's go back here and look at our staking. So if we look at our staking, we see that the amount that has been staked so far, how many BRLs have been staked, and the percentage. So it's 64% of our total supply is being locked up in a staking contract. This is impressive, right? And this puts us in the top 7 most staked tokens amongst blockchains, right? So we are competing with blockchains here as far as staking is concerned. So this is a great number for us to understand because staking plays a major role. As you see here, top 10 applications, they all have somehow to do with staking, directly or indirectly, right? So staking plays a major role. Now, if we go to banning is very important as well. If we go to banning, let's go to dashboard. We see here we've banned so far over 32,000 BRL tokens are banned, and that represents over 3%. And you see here it brings us down to 967,000. Why is banning so important, right? It's because right now, what's the current monetary system is strictly based on inflation, right? And debt. These are factors that we can't have. You don't want to have a monetary system that you lose your purchasing power as the years go by, right? This is not a store of value. This is not how it's supposed to be, right? And that's the reason why we don't have a store of value in a fiat monetary system. It's a debt-driven system. It's an inflationary system. So we have to do things differently. And to start to do that, besides the liquidity, like we looked, the staking, the banning is very important. Like I said, we started with the supply of 1 million, and now we keep dropping more and more. And this supply is removed from the total supply. This is why you see here This number is taken from Etherscan, right? It's right from here. Like if we go to burning, you see this is the number comes straight from Etherscan directly. So this number keeps shrinking. There is no other staking platform or ecosystem for that matter that is literally scarce in supply. And this is another key point that sets us apart and makes the difference in this industry. Remember how we started this session. Many companies are taking ideas, and these are the market leaders, the Googles, the Samsungs, the Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Apple. They have no original ideas. They took ideas from those that tried something but didn't work or are not doing it efficiently, right? We didn't invent the blockchain. We didn't have to. We just looked at the challenges within the blockchain industry. We looked at the industry, the market leaders, right? The top 10. We looked at Aave, we looked at Uniswap, their staking platforms. We identified that they are very inflationary, right? And then we tweaked it. We did something different. We added a solution, right? And that's the importance of burning. Burning is very important because it gives the staking platform an opportunity to not be inflationary and end up like this, right? Or end up like we saw Aave and Uniswap. We don't want that, right? Then finally, what I also want us to look at is, like I said, liquidity. We retain liquidity. And if you look at that right now, our liquidity is at 322,000 in comparison to our market cap, which is extremely low still. So this is a very healthy project community. And like we discussed many times, liquidity is key. Without liquidity, there is no volume, right? We looked at it here. How important is liquidity? If you look at volume here, you see that Bitcoin currently has 30 billion in volume, and we see how Ethereum has 14 billion in volume. If you combine this together for the math geniuses, we come to 44 billion, right? However, to identify the most liquid, the third one, Tether, is way more liquid. This is why it has more volume than Bitcoin and Ethereum combined, right? It's closing in on 50 billion. So even if you combine Bitcoin and Ethereum's volume together, you still can't get to Tether's volume. Why? Because due to its liquidity, right? And we can even go further and look at volume to market. We know this by now, right? If you come here, you understand that volume to market is an indicator of what? Liquidity, right? The higher the ratio, the more liquid the cryptocurrency is. And currently, it says 42 right now, right? That's how liquid it is. So the closer to 100, the more liquid. The closer to 0, the less liquid, right? So if we go to, let's start with Ethereum, it's at 4.5. Extremely illiquid. It's not liquid at all, right? And if we go to the largest cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin, Bitcoin has 2.6, so half of Ethereum's. So Bitcoin is very illiquid. It's extremely illiquid. This is why we always say this is an issue. This is a challenge in the industry, illiquidity. Projects don't retain liquidity. And this is exactly why we retain liquidity, not just through the taxes, through buy and sell, but also we put aside 10% for staking and buybacks, right? If we stake, we receive USDC. So what we do with this USDC, we do buybacks and stake it even more. So the more USDC we receive, the more we buy back and the more we restake, and the cycle continues like that, right? And this is something that the community also can do. This is why we are known as the bulldozer. This is the bulldozer effect right here, right? This is where the community, home of the bulldozer. This means that you and me, the community member, can do the same with our bags. We can use our USDC distributions and compound, right? And do that. So that's how compounding works. And this is compounding is what probably arguably the best investor in the world, Warren Buffett. This is how he became so wealthy, just compounding, right? And a lot of people need to understand that. Imagine compounding on a global scale, right? Using the blockchain technology, not 100 people, but tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people compounding, doing the same thing like this smart contract is doing right here, right? keep staking, buybacks, restaking, buybacks, restaking. You do that on your own. It doesn't just help you, obviously, but it also helps everybody else. How does it help? As you compound, meaning buying more BRL through your USDC distribution, you're helping to burn even more tokens. You're helping to retain more liquidity. You're helping to add more USDC distributions, right? So that's the obvious way is through taxes. This is how you retain liquidity. However, we also have this part right here that is staking and doing buybacks and keeps doing it for the longest term, right? And another way also to add liquidity is obviously through the revenue of our staking boosters, right? Because if you only stake your BRL tokens, you're limited to 70% of your USDC distributions, right? If you want to hit 100%, you need to have staked 5 of these NFT boosters to get your 100%. And right here, if we go back to our staking platform, this is where you see, this is where you come, right? This is where you stake your NFTs. This is where you stake your NFTs. And if you don't have any yet, you can hit mint more, and it will bring you to this this section where you can now add and purchase your NFTs. Or you can come directly to NFT right here, and you come to the same place, right? And then you can purchase. It's 0.1. 0.1 costs. It costs 0.1 ETH each one. And that's how we retain liquidity. The revenue generated from these NFTs go right back into the liquidity, right? And then, like I said, the community, that's the fourth way, is also capable of doing, buybacks and staking, buybacks. So these are 4 different ways how we retain liquidity. And we showed you how we're burning tokens, and our USDC distributions, we're collecting them also on our smart contract. If we come here, like I said, 74%, this is the largest wallet, this is the smart contract. If you click here, it will bring you, and click over here, it will bring you to our smart contract. And currently you see, unlike Aave, right? Aave is giving you more Aave, right? First of all, there's only 17% staked. And if you come to their staking contract, you see that they give you more Aave, right? They have more Aave here to give you. These are the distributions, and they're about to run out of it too. So once they run out of it, they have no incentives anymore. It's not sustainable, right? However, the way we sustain our distributions is through volume, right? That's why, because we retain liquidity, it attracts more volume, and more volume retains more USDC distribution. So we give out USDC. The smart contract here, you see we have 2,500 right now that is being still accumulated. And you see 623,000 tokens are locked in the smart contract. And you can verify that by obviously on Etherscan, right? You come here and you see the same number. It's the top wallet, the amount of BRL locked in the staking contract, and in percentage, it's 64.5. So like we said, we are the top 7 cryptocurrencies based on the staking, total staked percentage-wise, right? This is very, very impressive. Staking is important. It brings stability and security to the ecosystem. So this amount of staking secures and stabilizes the BRL token. This is impressive. This is very, very impressive, right? And eventually, because we keep burning our supply, the remaining tokens increase in percentage. So meaning that eventually we will be the most staked token easily, right? At our peak, we had more than 84% staked. Once we go back to that stage during the bull cycle, we'll be the top. We'll be the most staked token in the entire industry. That means we'll be the most stable, right? And secure platform in the ecosystem in the industry. And this is what staking is all about. It brings stability and security, right? So all this said, community, is because we want to identify, we want to make differences using this blockchain technology. We don't want a platform that is inflationary, that is debt driven. We want assets that is liquidity driven, that has enough liquidity, and that is scarce, and that gives you sustainable incentives in the form of a stable coin, right? That you can easily use, like we saw here in this news. You can easily use your NFC payment system on your iPhone so far and use your USDC, right? That's the whole idea. It's one thing to generate USDC, and it's another thing to spend it as well. So this is great for us. The more off-rampings that USDC develops, not needing credit cards, debit cards, just using your phone, because we all have smartphones. So if you have this functionality on your smartphone, you're good to go. You can spend your USDC rewards right from your wallet, right? And this is great for us. Another thing that we need to highlight now is why did Bitcoin hit $1 trillion so fast, right? Why did it outpace Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google, and became hit $1 trillion US dollar market cap so quickly? It's not because they're manufacturing things. It's not because of that. It's because Bitcoin works on something known, and the blockchain technology works on something known as the network effect. It's all about community, right? The more engaged the community is, the more people embrace and adopt Bitcoin. That's how it grew, right? And same thing with any other cryptocurrency on the blockchain. Same with us. The more we are embraced, the more people use our platform. That's how you grow, right? However, and this is not picking on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not efficient enough. They're not using their volume efficiently. Let's look at Bitcoin's volume. Bitcoin has a 30 billion volume right now, right? However, let's look at our fundamentals. Let's ask ourselves, with this 30 billion in volume, is Bitcoin burning any tokens? Is it scarce? I'm asking you this. Of course, no, it's not, right? And then, is Bitcoin with the 30 billion, are they retaining any liquidity? Unfortunately not. And of course, Bitcoin doesn't have a proof of stake consensus. It's a proof of work. But just theoretically, right, you can ask yourself that, is Bitcoin, do they have incentives? Bitcoin holders, are they incentivized, right, as they're holding Bitcoin through securing Bitcoin or bringing stability to the Bitcoin platform? It's not. So it's very inefficient. So this is why all this volume is not being used efficiently, right? It's 30 billion in volume. And let's make the point. Let's really make the point. To really show how inefficient Bitcoin is, let's look at this. Two things we need to look at here. Look at the market cap, 1 trillion, right? And let's look at this liquidity. Let me refresh. Let me see if this is current. It's current. So 1.3 billion in liquidity, right? And this says 26 billion. So let's use this number. Let's use 26 billion. And keep in mind, liquidity is at 1.3 billion right now. Bitcoin is 15 years old, right? So why do we say Bitcoin is inefficient? Not just Bitcoin, Ethereum also, all other cryptocurrencies, they're not using their volume efficiently, right? This is a challenge we face in the industry. So let's show you how inefficient it is just based on liquidity alone, right? Let's take 26 billion and let's assume that Bitcoin had our fundamentals. So let's come here. These are our fundamentals, right? Our tokenomics. So let's assume Bitcoin had our fundamentals. Let's use the 30 billion. And 1% of it. So 1% of 30 billion. We're sitting here at, wait. 1% of 30 billion. Yes, it's true. It's 300 million, right? 300 million. So what does this mean? This means that $300 million worth of Bitcoin would have been burned, right? On a daily basis, just based on one day. It will be extremely scarce. And that also means that 300 million worth of USDC distributions would be in this platform, staking platform right here, right? We will be seeing 300 million USDC right here. And this is on a daily basis, right? This is just based on the 30 billion that that Bitcoin is having in volume. We're just proving how inefficient it is, right? So this 300 million will be going towards the community, to you, in form of staking distributions. And also it will be going towards banning the supply. Who doesn't like some bans? Who doesn't like to shrink their supply, right? And 300 million worth of BRL tokens would be taken from the total supply. But that's not even the main important thing. What we're looking at is here. This is the crown. This is everything right here, liquidity. So liquidity is 3%. So that means we'll have to multiply this times 3 to get the correct number. So that means within 1 day, 24 hours, 900 million worth of liquidity would be added to the liquidity pool, right? 900 million. If we come back over here, we are at 1 billion. So basically, within 1 day, within 24 hours, if Bitcoin had our fundamentals, Bitcoin would be generating close to the same liquidity they have right now in 1 day. But let's be fair. Let's take 2 days, right? Let's just take 2 days. 1.8 billion. So within 2 days, if Bitcoin had our fundamentals in the way that we retain liquidity using 30 billion in volume, actually we used, 30 billion in volume, we'll quickly realize that Bitcoin is really inefficient, right? It's inefficient as far as retaining liquidity because they only have 1 billion, 1.2 billion in liquidity. But based on our fundamentals, within 2 days, we would have 1.8 billion. And to really bring this home, we have to multiply by 15. So we have the month, right? So within 1 month, Bitcoin should be actually sitting on 27 billion, not just 1 billion, right? This is why we say it's inefficient. It's not using this high volume efficiently. It's not buying any tokens. It's not retaining any liquidity that is important, right? There are 6 billionaires out there, Bitcoin billionaires, but none of them can cash out. None of them. So actually, if they were efficient enough, there would be 27 billion within 1 month. And these billionaires would be able to cash out, right? They'll be able to cash out. Now, let's bring this home and do it for 1 year. So within a year, if Bitcoin had our fundamentals, Bitcoin should be sitting on 324 billion in liquidity. And they're here sitting on 1 billion. So this just shows you that 15 years of Bitcoin got them 1 billion in liquidity. But if they had our fundamentals, it will take them 1 year to sit on 324 billion in liquidity, meaning that all the Bitcoin billionaires would be able to cash out by now easily without breaking the project. But as it stands today, they can't. It's impossible. They'll break they'll literally rug pull the whole token, right? The whole cryptocurrency. And this is why, back to the importance of liquidity. Liquidity is very, very important. This is why we stress on liquidity, right? And like I said, the liquidity to market cap ratio, the way you calculate that is very important too. Let's do that. We'll do it simple. 1.2, right? You take 1.2, you divide by 1.1 trillion, right? So there is 1,100 trillion in 1 billion, right? So we divide this by 1,134. And then you get that if we multiply by this. So right now, liquidity to market cap ratio is 0.1% for Bitcoin. Keep in mind, 0 is the worst, 100 is the best. So liquidity to market cap ratio, Bitcoin right now is 0.1. It's just proving what we just said. It's illiquid. It's not liquid at all. And this is a danger, right? And if we look at ours, for example, liquidity to market cap ratio, we do the same thing. You calculate, keep in mind, it was 0.1, 0.1, not even 1. So if we do ours, we take 322, we divide it by 724. And right now, we are sitting at 44%, over 44%, right? This is our liquidity to market cap ratio. And remember, Bitcoins right now, it shows you, this shows you the liquidity, how liquid. It indicates how liquid the project is or illiquid, right? And it's at 2%. This also just shows you that you don't want an illiquid asset. You want a liquid asset that you can remove, you can cash out anytime you want without crashing the project. This is why we stress so much on liquidity. And then you want not just a liquid asset, but this asset, because it has a staking platform, needs to be scarce. So your supply is supposed to be shrinking, right? And not to increase, to look like this, right? Have a shrinking supply. And then lastly, have a staking platform that has steady and sustainable and efficient distributions, and this in the form of stable coins, right? And this is exactly what we have. And then use your volume efficiently. We just did the math, right? We just took Bitcoin's volume and we did the math, and it doesn't add up, right? You can't have such a high volume and you're not using this volume efficiently to sustain your ecosystem, right? Those are the 4 challenges, community, that we're looking at, right? And okay, let's go to something else. Remember how we asked ourselves, why did Bitcoin hit $1 billion so quickly, despite not addressing certain challenges? It's because adaptation, right? The more people adopt blockchain technology, blockchain cryptocurrencies, the faster it grows, right? It's based on adaptation, and it's based on the community effort as well. So with that said, we always say how early we are in the crypto space. We are so early in this industry, but that really doesn't say much. But today, as we're closing, I just want to highlight how early we really are compared to other assets, right? Back to CoinMarketCap. The total market cap right now is at 2 trillion. That's how our industry is, $2 trillion US. And Bitcoin alone is at 1 trillion market cap, right? But if we compare to other assets, gold alone is at 16 trillion, almost 17 trillion. So it's literally 8 times larger, gold alone, 8 times larger than the entire crypto industry. That's how early we are in this industry, you know? And this just shows you how much growth that is still ahead of us, right? Apple alone has 3.4 trillion. And keep in mind, our entire industry is only 2 trillion. So Apple alone has a larger market cap than the entire crypto industry, just one company alone. This just shows you how early we are in this industry. There's so much growth still ahead of us, and we need to understand this. We need to embrace this, right? Another thing I want us to look at here that is very important is, let's look at crypto market size based on traditional assets, right? Let's compare. And again, in 2021, it was the cryptocurrency year, and we surpassed $2 trillion for the first time. And actually on the 4th quarter, by November, we hit 3 trillion. We were close to 3 trillion in market cap, right? However, right now we're at 2 trillion market cap. Now let's compare to other assets in comparison. For example, let's look at the precious metals market, right? Precious metals market right now is sitting at like gold alone. You see, we saw gold. Gold was sitting at 16, right? 16 trillion. That's just gold alone. So this just shows you how big this industry is, how small this industry still is, right? And if we compare to real estate is at 340 trillion in market cap. 340 trillion. This is huge, right? To our 2 trillion market cap. So real estate alone is at 340 trillion. And then if we look at equities, right, which is stock market, we see at 122 trillion globally. 122 trillion, right? If we look at debts, the US alone, this number is not accurate. It's at 35 trillion. That's US alone. Then China also, and so on and so forth. But so the global debt is huge, right? It's a record high of over 226 trillion. That's the debt market. This is the treasury bills. This is where the treasury bills come in. right? And this is exactly where we're headed. Why am I showing you all of this? Because real world assets and tokenization, this is the next big thing, right? This is what Larry Fink is talking about. This is what tokenization is all about. So all these assets that are in the hundreds of trillions in market cap, they are getting ready to be tokenized, right? And where are they being tokenized? On what platform? They're being tokenized on Ethereum. If we look at BUIDL, right? You see here the BUIDL fund. This is BlackRock's. Fund. It's way over 500 million already, and it has what? Tokenized treasury market. So, and we just saw the debt market is at 226 trillion, right? So this is a 226 trillion market, but so far 226 trillion, but so far we only have, where is it? 500. So far there's only 500 million in these tokenized assets. So BlackRock will accumulate trillions of dollars. And which platform do you think they chose to do all of that, right? They chose Ethereum. They chose Ethereum blockchain. This is their choice. This is what they chose. And we see it here very clearly as well. Let me zoom in. If I zoom in, hopefully you see it better. This BlackRock, and they are on Ethereum. They chose Ethereum as their blockchain. So this just shows you the moral of the story here is that tokenized assets, this is the future. And even if you look at, let me zoom out again so that we all can see this. You see here that let me zoom back in. Okay, so you see here that in the real world assets, you realize that the number one, if we go down here, you realize that the number one is Treasury. US debts is the most tokenized asset, are US Treasury debts. It's at 1.9 billion, right? 1.9 billion. And right now, the leader by far is BlackRock. Let's go back to BlackRock right here. Treasury bills, you see here, these are US Treasuries. And US Treasuries is led by BlackRock, right? They have over 517 million right now out of 226 trillion. So there's still a lot of liquidity that is about to come. And which platform are they on? They're on the Ethereum blockchain. Why is this so good for us? Why is this important? It's because all three of our tokens are on the Ethereum blockchain, and we need liquidity, right? Liquidity is about to enter the space. And if you don't have an ecosystem that is retaining liquidity in 4 different ways, we will not benefit from all this liquidity that is about to enter the space, right? This is the reason why we emphasize so much on Ethereum. Even precious metals. Remember precious metals? We looked at precious metals here. And gold alone is at 16 trillion, right? And we see here real world assets. Where are they? What platform are they on? Ethereum, Ethereum, Ethereum. They're all on Ethereum, right? So all these liquidity is about to hit Ethereum, and you need to be prepared. You need to have a platform that retains and takes advantage of all that liquidity through transactions fees, through staking and buybacks, through the sale of the boosters, and through the community effort, right? Bulldozer effect, buybacks and staking, right? So this is what I wanted to highlight here. This is the important part here, is to understand that this tokenization, these tokenized assets are led by BlackRock, and they chose to be on the Ethereum blockchain, right? And they want to tokenize everything. That's the future. And because we're on the Ethereum blockchain, this is going to bring a lot of liquidity to us. And this is exactly what we specialize in, right? We specialize in retaining liquidity, and we specialize in burning tokens and being scarce. And we specialize also in having sustainable staking distributions. And to burn more tokens and to accumulate more USDC, we need liquidity. And the more liquidity we have, the higher volume we get. right? And the more volume we get, the more we'll burn, the more USDC, and the more liquidity. So it's a vicious positive feedback loop. It's a vicious positive cycle that feeds into each other. And that's what you want. You want the stakers to be happy by giving USDC distributions. You want the traders to be happy by having deep liquidity, right? And this is what Bitcoin is lacking. Remember, we calculated that within a year, Bitcoin is actually, if they were efficient, they were supposed to have 324 billion in liquidity. They're far from it. It's only 1 billion, right? So it's not efficient. They're not efficient at all. And this is what I really want us to understand, that, and this brings it home. We discussed about staking, about burning, about liquidity, and we have all three of them, right? We retain liquidity. This will bring more volume, and more volume means even more liquidity, and more trading volume burns even more tokens and accumulates more USDC distributions for the community. And we're using our volume efficiently. We did the math here with Bitcoin, and we saw that they're not using their volume, their high volume, efficiently, right? We looked at Aave and Uniswap, and we identified that their staking platform is causing all this inflation, right? And this looks awfully familiar, right, with our current monetary system. So the takeaway today is that, community, we have a new monetary system in the blockchain, Bitcoin Bullrun ecosystem, where we burn tokens from the total supply. We address inflation, right? That's one of the challenges, is inflation. And for that, we have an answer. We have a solution. We have a burning mechanism, true burn. We are shrinking our supply, which started from 1 million, and now we are down to 967,000. We've burned over 32,000 already. That's 3%. And you can verify it by yourself by going to Etherscan, right? You can come right here. You go to Etherscan, and you'll see that our supply keeps shrinking. We started at 1 million max supply, and now it's down 32,000. Also, if you pay attention, you realize that our #1 wallet is a staking contract, right? And it's locked up over 64% of the total supply, in comparison to Aave, which literally only has it only has 17%, 17.5% staked, right? So this just shows you how our ecosystem is well trusted, right? And it's because it's not inflationary, because it's scarce. It has a strong burning system that causes scarcity. It retains liquidity, and liquidity attracts more traders and brings more stability as well, right? We saw how liquidity brings volume. This is why Tether, the largest stablecoin, because it's so liquid, it brings in more volume than Ethereum and Bitcoin combined. So the more liquid you are, the more trading volume you have. So outside of this, our aim is that outside of the stablecoin, compared to other cryptocurrencies, we should have very high trading volume based on us retaining liquidity. And that's the whole idea, right? The more liquidity you have, the higher your trading volume. The higher the trading volume, the more liquidity we retain, the more tokens we burn, and the more USDC distributions we get. So that's the message for today, community. This is just putting everything together now, bringing everything home. We have a complete ecosystem that has a burning mechanism, that is retaining liquidity, and that gives you sustainable distributions in USDC for staking, and also uses its volume efficiently to get even more liquidity, burn even more tokens, and accumulate more USDC distributions. We all are waiting for this bull cycle, and the signs look great. The US crypto bill is being put in place this year. The Feds are starting to cut rate in the next meeting in September, bringing liquidity into the ecosystem, right? Tokenizations are taking place in the form of treasury bills. It's all on the Ethereum blockchain. Precious metals on the Ethereum blockchain. We see here tokenization plays a major role. And even if we look at credit products, they're all on Ethereum blockchain as well. everything is on Ethereum. Every relevant real world asset tokenization is on Ethereum. BlackRock's fund is on Ethereum as well. So let's be ready for all the liquidity that is about to enter Ethereum. And we see treasury bills, US debts. It's at hundreds of $1 trillion market cap right now. It's also coming, and BlackRock has kickstarted this on Ethereum also. And they've kickstarted this tokenized US treasury products. And so far, it's only 500 million. These are tokenized treasuries. And we saw how the treasury market right now is sitting at 226. This is the treasury market, right? This is the debt market. It's a large market. So there's a lot of liquidity about to come. And if your ecosystem is not ready, is not prepared to literally retain liquidity and take advantage of this bull cycle that is about to come, it will be a challenge and it will be a waste, right? And we are ready for that. We are ready for the liquidity. We are ready for the volume. We are ready to ban tokens even more. And we are ready to give the community back through USDC distributions, also through this volume, right? Liquidity and volume go hand in hand, and the efficient use of it makes an efficient platform. And this is what we have. We have a complete, efficient, sustainable platform that solves the 4 challenges in the industry. Why did we mention that? It's because we understand that the greats like Google, Samsung, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, they all took ideas from other companies, but just made them more efficient and sustainable, right? You can't copyright an idea, right? You have to execute. Ideas are great, but how are you executing? And the beautiful thing about smart contracts, you can code them in a way that they execute, right? So we executed and developed a platform based on the challenges, these 4 challenges in the industry, and we see them right here. 1, 2, 3, and then the efficient use of volume is the 4th one, right? And this will put us in the best position possible to make the most out of all this liquidity that is about to enter the space community. And all of that is coming on the Ethereum blockchain, right? If we see here, it's always the Ethereum blockchain. So that's the message for today, community. And I believe it was a lot to digest, but we'll keep it. We'll put a full stop there for now. And let me come and check with you with the comments and see whether there are any points that you want us to clarify. If you have any feedbacks, questions, and let's go from there. Bear with me as I am sharing my screen here so I can come back to you. And let's go through your comments if you have any. Let's start here. Queen Alice says a successful stint with the launch of the post-Bitcoin ETF this year while becoming the largest BTC fund available in the market. If the accumulation continues at this pace going ahead, BlackRock's IBIT can overtake Bitcoin founder Satoshi Nakamoto Holdings in years' time from now. Please explain. Very, very great, great point that you made here. And to do that, let me pull this up. Bear with me. Let me find it. Let me find it here. That's an amazing point. That's a very good point. That is important to look at closely. If you bear with me, Queen Alice, I want to pull it up so we can look at it. I'll have to reshare my screen with you. Let me stop this. Community, let's really pay attention to this. This is a great point Queen Alice brought. What that means is here, all right? ETFs. Right now, the ETFs altogether have, as far as Bitcoin, they have over 1 million in Bitcoin, right? And Satoshi Nakamoto is famously known to have 1 million Bitcoin in 22,000 different wallets, right? Spread up across over 20,000 wallets. He has 1 million, or she, whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is. And right now, the ETFs alone, the Bitcoin ETFs, they're only 7 months old right now, right? They launched in January, on January 11th. And so they're 7 months old and they already have 1 million BTC. So what this means, Queen Alice, is that within 7 months, they already have the same amount like Satoshi has. And if they continue like this, they will surpass the amount that Satoshi has. That's what it means, right? And like you see here, this is exactly what's happening. These are the largest Bitcoin ETF holders. Of course, BlackRock is the leader, right? They're holding over 348,000 Bitcoin. So what this article is saying, Queen Alice, is that when, for example, BlackRock continues to accumulate this Bitcoin the same way it's been accumulating, they alone will surpass BlackRock. They alone will surpass Satoshi Nakamoto, right? Right now, they have 348,000 Bitcoin, right? Worth close to 20 billion. Keep in mind, this is how liquid their Bitcoin is. It's 20 billion, right? And keep in mind, look at the centralized exchanges. Centralized exchange, Bitcoin only has 1 billion. This is the reason. Like, they're very liquid. People love to trade on liquid assets. And right now on centralized exchanges, Bitcoin is not liquid at all. So to answer your question, Queen Alice, the article just says that BlackRock is on track to accumulate more Bitcoin than Satoshi Nakamoto. If they continue accumulating at this pace, they'll be able to accumulate more in 1 year's time. And it's true. It's only 7 months and they already have more than a third behind them. So a year from now, on this pace, they'll have more Bitcoins than Satoshi Nakamoto himself or herself or themselves, right? Basically, that's what it means, Queen Alice. But collectively, like we saw, ETFs as a collective, they already have over 1 million, right? As a collective. But BlackRock alone is about to surpass Satoshi, get that 1 million within a year from now. That's what it means, Queen Alice. I hope that answered your question. Let me come back. Great input, Queen Alice, great input. We have my brother Abdullah says, warm greetings to you all. Hi, Steve. Please, why the economy boom during elections, and what's exactly the degree of correlation between the elections and the cryptocurrency market in general? Brilliant question, brother Abdullahi. Keep in mind, all of this is done by design, right? We are following a 4-year cycle, right? We are following a 4-year cycle. And this cycle is key because, again, we are very visual individuals. So to answer this question once more, I have to share my screen, right? Because we have to visualize what we're talking about. So let's come back to this article, right? Brother Abdullah is asking, why is it always that the elections are literally parallel, to the markets, and how does it correlate? Because it follows a 4-year cycle. 4-year cycle. So let's read this. The central bank is moving closer to lowering borrowing costs, meaning interest rates, right? For the first time in what? More than 4 years. What a coincidence. 4 years ago, almost, is not exactly, but almost. So 4 years ago, we were hitting the all-time high as far as bull market. And we are going through a 4-year cycle. Every 4 years, there's a new bull cycle. And these bull cycles are led by liquidity cycles, right? Meaning that interest rates get cut. Remember how we were discussing how interest rates are about to get cut, right? This is exactly the point. US hints on September interest rate cuts. And these interest rate cuts follow a 4-year cycle, right? And the reason why is because it goes hand in hand with the election year. To be re-elected, a politician, to be re-elected, they have to leave behind a booming market, right? And the only way to create a booming market is by stimulating the market. And if you stimulate the market, you're inflating the market, right? The fiat itself is decreasing. However, the assets are increasing, right? The golds, the stocks, the real estate, the cryptocurrency market is going up in value as the fiat is decreasing. But to get to your point, the question is, it's because of the 4-year cycle, Brother Abdullahi, right? It's right on it. The correlation is that bull cycles are 4 years based on interest rate cuts, lowering and cutting the interest rates. And once that happens, it brings in a lot of liquidity. And the way to stimulate an economy, you need to bring in liquidity. And that starts by cutting interest rates, right? And this is why this article says it's the lowest it's been. For the first time, it's been lower for more than, well, basically 4 years, right? And if you go back 4 years, you realize that we were hitting the peak, right? We were actually hitting the peak of the bull market. And I can show you here as well. If you go back, the first peak was actually back in 2021 in March, right? And then we hit the second peak also in October. So these are the peaks. And usually these peaks correlate directly with the liquidity, with the market, how much money was entering the market. And usually the market, it enters the market first, and then the peak follows, the bull run follows. This is why you see that once the interest rates get cut, it takes a few weeks until it enters the economy, and then you start seeing the cryptocurrencies just booming, just hitting all-time highs, right? Because now there's liquidity in the market. That's the correlation, Brother Abdullahi. That's how that relates to the 4-year cycle, led by liquidity, led by cutting interest rates, right? And once that happens, it stimulates the economy. And once it stimulates the economy, the politicians want to be reelected, they issue a positive US crypto bill, and then the interest rates get cut, and this pushes the market to boom and hit all-time highs like we saw here. This keeps these politicians in their seats, right? This is why election year, liquidity year, interest rate cuts year is always together, always goes hand in hand, right? That's exactly the reason why, and that's how it works, Brother Abdullahi. I hope that answered your question as well. Let me come back again. Let me come back to you. We have B-Knows Ard saying awesome facts, cryptocurrency knowledge, awesome, bull run next level, interesting, stable, and most secure, excellent, in-depth compounding on money facts. Okay, great. And I'm loving what I'm seeing. Queen Debbie says, bull run to the world. And then I'm seeing here. The real value, Queen Val says, the real value of cryptocurrency is liquidity. Absolutely. And that's what BRL is known for. Retains liquidity with every transaction for holders. Locked for 10 years, BRL, the king of liquidity. Beautifully said, Queen Val. That's exactly true. It's the foundation, right? That's the foundation of everything. That's what drives and brings volume. And with volume, efficient use of volume brings even more volume, right? And helps us to retain more liquidity, burn even more tokens like we discussed, and retain or accumulate more USDC. Beautifully said. Very, 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 very true. My brother Abdullahi says, Steve, I agree. Agree is a challenge, but why the inefficient usage of volume by Bitcoin and few others? Is it because they don't know what to do, or they lack the idea of what to do? Actually, you know, sometimes there is speculation out there, of course, that the government issued Bitcoin, right? And if Bitcoin was to accumulate liquidity efficiently, there won't be no room for ETFs, right? So for me, it's just ironic that Bitcoin was developed so ingeniously to follow the 4-year cycle, right? Falling right when developed right after the 2008 housing bubble, right? It came at the perfect time when we just needed an alternative. And then it's based on the 4-year cycle. It's based on the election year, based on the inflation, interest rate cuts, based on the exactly when the halving also takes place every 4 years, right? Everything, it's perfect. The only thing is they're not retaining liquidity, right? And that's not a mistake, Brother Abdullahi. I doubt that that's a mistake. It's by design, because if that was the case, Bitcoin would be the ultimate store of value, right? And it would be really decentralized. It would be for the people, like it's supposed to be, or it was supposed to be. But because it lacks it, Bitcoin became a Wall Street product now, because it's ETF'd now. And if Bitcoin was retaining liquidity like we are, BlackRock wouldn't be making money. JP Morgan wouldn't be making money. Coinbase wouldn't be making money, because they have nothing to custody, because you and me are holding our own Bitcoins in our own private wallets, because now Coinbase wouldn't be making money custodying. JP Morgan wouldn't be making money trading Bitcoin, right? And manipulating it. And BlackRock won't be issuing out ETF shares and making billions of dollars in revenue while doing it. So all these Wall Street companies would go broke, right? If Bitcoin was to retain liquidity. And this is exactly what sets us apart, Brother Abdullahi, is that we remain decentralized, we retain liquidity, and we only trade it on Uniswap. So this is a platform that is literally made for the community. It's not made for Wall Street. It's not made for centralized exchanges. It's made for you and me, for the retailer, for the 99%, for those who are bankless, for those who are needed the most, right? And this is the reason why Bitcoin, I believe, it's by design. They cover everything, but the most important they leave out, the most important thing is retaining liquidity. And that's not a mistake, because they thought about everything else. The 4-year cycle, election year, halving happens also every 4. Everything is perfect, but they leave out the small detail, which is liquidity. And because they did that, there are ETFs now. It's as simple as that. It leaves the door open for Wall Street to make money, BlackRock to generate revenue, JP Morgan to manipulate the trades, and because they're the real owner of the Bitcoin, right? And then Coinbase to charge for custody fees, right? So it's all about making money for Wall Street, but the losers are the retailers again. They are not holding the real asset, the real deal, and they can't trade in the public on centralized exchanges because there's no liquidity, right? And that's the whole idea. Liquidity is freedom. Liquidity brings freedom, right? And without liquidity, you have no freedom. You can't cash out whenever you want. You have to go through BlackRock to get your ETFs. You can't hold the real deal because JP Morgan owns it and deposits it with Coinbase, right? And that's not the idea of blockchain. Blockchain is meant to make us our own banks. We are our own banks. We hold on to our own wallets. It's decentralized, right? But that's not the case. And I hope that answered your question, Brother Abdullahi. It's by design. If Bitcoin was to be sustainable and retaining liquidity, BlackRock, JP Morgan, and Coinbase wouldn't be making any money right now, right? And there wouldn't be no ETF markets either. There won't be no tokenizations needed, right? And that's the reason why. Great point you brought here. Great question. Queen Mel says, happy Thursday, family. Happy Thursday back to you too, Queen Mel. Hello, brother Steve. Thanks for this information. I'm learning every day. Thank you for being here with us every day and showing up consistently. You are very, very much appreciated. Queen Graced Favored says, thank you very much for another great session. I had similar questions on ETFs asked by Queen Alice. Thank you very much for the answer. I'm glad that it helped. I'm glad that you were able to be informed about this in this regards. Queen Maureen says, Alice here. Thank you, Steve. Very well explained. Very, very glad that it helped you. I'm glad it did. Thank you for posing the question. It helped the community as well. Queen Mel says, I have a question not related to today's session. Last time you said something about crypto card. Please kindly share more. With the crypto card, what I was referring to was like, for example, right now, if you're on Binance, there's a Binance debit card, like it's a crypto card. If you're on Coinbase, they have their own as well. If you're on crypto.com, they also have their own. MetaMask is now coming with their own with the MasterCard, and so on and so forth. However, the issue with these credit cards is they charge fees each time you use them in stores, and merchants don't like that. That's why today, in today's session, bear with me, let me share my screen again. I really want to take advantage of this YouTube today because we can really always share our screens and we are very visual individuals. So you see, this is why I brought this topic today. So instead of cards and having to apply for a card and all that, through USDC, Circle is the issuer of USDC stablecoin. Now you can use your smartphone. Look at it, look up, if you have the chance right now, if you swipe your phone from the top down, you'll find the NFC function. It's turned off on by design. You can turn it on and you turn your phone into a debit card, literally. And this is what this is great for. So iPhones now, USDC is going to use the same infrastructure that Apple is using for their Apple Wallet and Apple Pay, right? And it will, now you can use your own wallet, your cryptocurrency wallet. If you have Trust Wallet, MetaMask wallet, whichever wallet you're using, you can now connect that wallet directly to your iPhone. And this, you can use this feature, right? And this is, and it will tell you what blockchain address that will accept USDC, and then you approve it, and you'll be able to turn your phone, your smartphone, into literally a debit card. So this is what I was talking about a way back also, that soon we won't even use cards anymore. Visa, MasterCard, they understand that they're in danger. This is why they're embracing cryptocurrency so much, because they know that once these functions are enabled, nobody will be holding Visa or MasterCard anymore. You'll be able to connect your wallet directly to these payment systems right on your iPhone using this NFC future, right? And then you'll be able to use your USDC to make payments in the real world, right? If it's for groceries, to pay your gas, whatever you need it for. And this is the future. This is happening right now. The infrastructure is already here because Apple is using that already through their Apple Wallet and Apple Pay. So now they are enabling other wallets, other cryptocurrency wallets, to use the same infrastructure that you can use, that Apple is using already, right? So it's here. It's now just a matter of Apple users being able to having this NFC functionality on their device, turn it on, and you transform your smartphone into a debit card, literally, and you stick with your cryptocurrency wallet. This is amazing. No more need for Visa, MasterCards, right? And this is how you use the blockchain technology. And the beautiful thing is USDC is using this infrastructure. So because we are issuing USDC distributions, this is great news for us, right? This is great because now we know how to also spend our USDC once you get it, right? Of course, you can compound, and but if you want to spend it, you have to pay your bills. You know that you can just, if you're an iPhone holder, you know you can use this functionality. And soon it will come to Android as well, definitely, you know. and then we won't need no Visa, debit, and MasterCard anymore. This is the future. This is the more advanced version. You don't have to worry about your credit card expiring, being stolen, all of that. You don't need all that, right? And this is why I brought this up today. This is why I brought this up. So this is the beautiful thing about this. So I hope this answers your question. I hope this answered your question. Great point you brought there, Queen Mel. Let me come back again to you. Entertainment Guru, thank you so much. Welcome to the community, Entertainment Guru. Nice having you in the community. Much greetings back to India as well. Glad to have you here. Brother Eric says, new set of millionaires and billionaires in the making with BRL. Great point, my brother Eric. But you share technical analysis also, please. There's not much data for technical analysis, but I'll be happy to. We focus on fundamental analysis, and that's what we really did, right? Because charts, you can read charts all day, but at the end of the day, fundamentals are really what matter. Entertainment Guru, and this is what we focus on in our community. I hope it helped you as well, because focusing on the challenges in the industry, like we discussed, the lack of liquidity, the inflation, the unsustainable staking distributions, and inefficient use of volume. Those are the things that will make the difference, right? Those are the fundamentals that really make the difference. And also, like we discussed, you need to be efficient and sustainable. And those are the things that matter, Charts, you can read charts all day, but if you don't have the fundamentals in the crypto space, you can do that with stock market, right? In the stock market, doing analytics is great because stock market is old. It's 50, it's been 100 years. But in crypto, fundamentals right now is most important, and this is what we focus on. But yeah, great point you brought here. Brother Eric says, thank you, Steve, for mentorship. It's a pleasure. It's really a pleasure to share the knowledge. This is what this community is all about. We always ensure that we inform, we educate, and we inspire, because an educated community is a powerful community, right? And we want to grow as a strong community. And to do that, we need to be informed and educated, right? So thank you very much, Brother Eric. Welcome to the community. We are happy to have you here with us today. My brother Abdullah says, perfectly answered, Steve. Thank you. Thank you for the great question that you brought, Brother Abdullah. And Queen Mel says, thank you so much, Brother Steve. Like I said before, I learn every day. Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you for the questions, the statements. It was very interactive today. It was very interactive. And I'm very thrilled. It was literally an amazing session today. I was very pleased to be part of this session today. Thank you, community, for showing up in such great numbers, for all your efforts, your commitment. Like we saw today, this market, this industry is still so young. We are only sitting at 2 trillion market cap. That's nothing, right? That's a drop in the ocean. And gold alone, precious metal, is 16 trillion. We saw debt markets is over 216 trillion, right? So we still have a long way to go. A lot of liquidity is about to enter the Ethereum platform because BlackRock chose Ethereum for the liquid assets, tokenized assets, right? And also precious metal also is being tokenized on Ethereum as well. Gold, JP Morgan, they have their private blockchain, Onyx, also on Ethereum. They're using that as a rail for collateralized assets, right? Using BlackRock's mutual funds to do that. So it's just amazing how much liquidity we're about to experience with the interest rates cuts coming next month, and with the regulations, US crypto bill that is about to come. Elections is in 2 months, so everything is falling in line for us. So let's keep on pushing. Let's stay motivated. Information and education is key to keep us solid, grounded, rational, right? Not emotional. And that's what we need. I want to thank you all once more for all your efforts. that you put in. And as I'm speaking, I see Queen Val here. Let's hit the like button, family. And let's all leave a comment after this session. These are very important points like we discussed. This helps us to reach as many people as possible. This video, through algorithm, it will go out to as many people as possible. And this is what we want. We want to bring awareness to our industry and to our ecosystem, because this is how cryptocurrencies grow with using the blockchain technology. Then we're not producing products. It's just about network effect. The more people embrace, adopt, use our platform, that's how we grow, right? And that's how liquidity comes in. That's how we accumulate volume and add more USDC distributions and so on and so forth. I see Queen Debbie saying something here too. Hi, my brother Steve. Someone asked me what causes BRL price to go up without buys. Please help me to answer this question. Without buys, not even Bitcoin will go up. Nothing goes up without buys, right? Everything, economy doesn't run without transactions, right? The way an economy works is through transactions, and you can't have transactions without liquidity. So it's impossible for an economy to run without any transactions, right? That's how economy works. It's very important to understand that there is no economy without buys. This is why you see when there's lack of liquidity, there is no bull run. This is why the markets need to be stimulated by printing money, cutting interest rates, and that's the only way. The market needs liquidity. People need to buy, right? Purchasing power in order for the economy to run. But if the purchasing power is not there, if the buying power is not there, there's no economy. You know, there's no economy. Economies work. Okay, Queen Debbie, I have to share my screen again because I really want this to sink in. I want us to understand this. This is a great question. Let me share my screen. I just did a quick Google search, right? Just a quick Google search. How do economies work, right? So an economy is a complex system of interrelated production, consumption, and exchange activities, which ultimately determine how resources are allocated among participants. So the production, consumption, and distribution of goods and services combine to fulfill the needs of those living and operating within the economy. Basically, it just says that you need transactions, right? You need transactions. You need resources, services, goods across. You can't have an economy without purchasing power. Without buying, there is no economy, right? That's how the best way I can answer. Without economy, you need transactions and you need volume. I mean, you need liquidity. And this is the reason why you see this here. You see how the economy is stagnating because of this. Everybody's looking forward to interest rate cuts so that they have more purchasing power. This means that people will be able, right here, right? Borrowing costs are higher than the 4 years ago. And this is because the high interest rates. So once these borrowing costs are being cut, the interest rates is being cut, it will increase, it will trigger the economy, right? And this is what everybody's waiting for, right? To answer your question, we need an interest rate cut. We need to stimulate the economy to improve the purchasing power. It's low right now. So without buys, there is no economy. Without transactions, there is no economy. Without liquidity, there are no transactions. And that's how the economy works. It's very important for us to understand this because there is no business without transactions, without buying, you know? Even if you want to go and get gas or groceries, how can you go and get groceries if you don't have no purchasing power, right? Of course, you need to have money to buy your groceries. It's not different with in the finance world, in trading or in cryptocurrency is the same way. You can't just go and get groceries. You have to you need a purchasing power. You need money to do that. And same thing in investment. You need money to invest into something. We need a purchasing power to get that done. So that's very great question. Great question that it's important for us to really understand. Thanks, my brother. Greatly appreciated. Thank you too. I really appreciate these questions. These are great questions. Keep them coming. They help the community and they help us to really have a good understanding of how economy works. Economy only runs through transactions and liquidity. That's it. So thank you for your question. Vinny puts 100% there. And our community, I really want to thank you all for being part of this session today. It was an amazing session. And I just want to appreciate you all. Also, what I want to add to this is the beautiful thing about our ecosystem is that in addition to the transaction, that's why we did the math. We saw how Bitcoin had 30 billion volume, but they're not doing much with it. They're not banning tokens. They're not retaining liquidity. They're not giving back to the community through staking distributions because they're not on a proof of stake consensus anyway. But this is why these fundamentals are so important. Once we have the buys and the trading volume comes in, we are using our trading volume efficiently. So we are banning consistently. We are adding more liquidity consistently, and we're retaining USDC distributions for the stakers efficiently. That's where the fourth challenge comes in: inefficient use of volume. So it's one thing to have liquidity; it's another thing to use that volume through the liquidity efficiently. So everything works together, right? This is why we have 3 different smart contracts. We have things working simultaneously, but individually, but working together for the better good. So great question and great point. Queen Alice says, thank you very much, King Steve. Thank you too, Queen Alice. You're very much appreciated. And everybody else that took the time to be part of this session today, thank you all very much for being part of this session on this beautiful Thursday. I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. I hope this session was informational and educational, and most importantly, inspirational to all of us. And I hope the point was brought across. Today's topic was our ecosystem, and we wanted to bring all those elements together: staking, banning, liquidity, efficient use of volume, and bring all that together to highlight that we have a complete package in our ecosystem that is efficient, that is sustainable, and that took ideas from the other projects that are not as efficient and sustainable, and just made it more efficient, more sustainable, and are addressing these 4 challenges in the industry. With that said, community, this is it for today. I want to wish you a wonderful rest of your week. Looking forward to another great conversation on Saturday when we have our Telegram VC. To all the new members today that showed up today, welcome. We are happy to have you in our community. We are very pleased to have you all here today. And feel free to join our Telegram groups. We are very active on social platforms such as Twitter. We are on Telegram as well. And here today on YouTube, we are very active as well. So community, this is it. I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay committed, stay consistent, and success is all we know. And everything is aligning perfectly for us, community. The crypto bill is about to get passed this year. Interest rates cuts seem to be initiated next month. Liquidity is coming on our Ethereum blockchain. Our platform is ready to take off. The community is enthusiastic. We are ready to go, and we are in the right platform. We have the right platform that is solving challenges and is efficient and sustainable. Thank you so much, community. I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye, everyone.